Welcome to the Whole Person Parenting Podcast. We're here to have honest conversations about how to follow Jesus and parent kids in a whole person way. For more content and encouragement as we support you on your journey, you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. We're so glad you're here. Now let's jump in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Whole Person Parenting Podcast. We're so thankful that you're here. And we have once again rearranged our room.
We're in process, guys.
We're in the process. As we said 2 weeks ago, like we're in the construction zone.
Yep.
And that's okay. So yeah, this look might never happen again.
It
but
might not.
It could be the new norm. We just never know. And so we'll see.
Yeah. Trying it on.
Yeah, we're trying it on.
I think that works.
For size.
Yeah.
And seeing.
See, is it good?
Yeah.
Is it bueno or no bueno?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not quite yet starting our new series called Becoming a Parent. We are going to plan to start that at the beginning of August.
Yay.
And we're excited for that. So stay tuned for that series and make sure to follow us on Instagram and all the things if you want to.
We're actually on some new platforms too.
Yes,
so
that's true.
That's exciting.
What are they?
Well, YouTube podcasts.
Oh, yes, that's true.
If you guys prefer that. Also, iHeartRadio podcasts.
Are we really? I didn't know that.
And there's another one. Sorry, I can't remember the third one. Those were the two big ones that stood out to me.
And something else.
And
so
something
just
else.
Go find it somewhere.
Yeah, but yeah, I love it because it's like getting more available to people,
Yes.
and I think, and we're gaining listeners, and
it's exciting.
It is exciting, and it just gets us closer to fulfilling the purpose that we feel like we have.
Yeah.
Here, which is honest conversation and
trying to
prayerful conversation, discerning kind of conversation.
Yeah, and just you're really seeing us in our truest form here.
Yeah. For better or for worse.
Pretty much no filter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah, very little editing. I don't know if you
very little editing. If you guys watch the videos, you know that we don't be editing. Yeah. We just let it go. So
we just go with it.
You're really hearing the raw edit every time. So today I was like on my drive over here and we were just thinking about what we wanted to talk about in this podcast, and I was like, I realized we hadn't like just talked about like just our experiences and just the way that like God has shown up in the midst of those, and some of like the wins that you've experienced through parenting, or maybe some of the losses where you've been like, man, that did not work, or different ways.
I would also, I know you're saying that, but as as I was thinking about it too, like I also think it would be, I don't know, kind of cool to hear too from like some, it's been a while since you've been a baby or a toddler.
This is true.
But, you are just...
Some of my childhood stories.
Yeah. Because, of the things that you think were wins or losses, even in our relationship or in, your own life, like whatever you would feel like sharing. So, that's what I...
Yeah, I say we just talk about it.
Yep.
You got any stories that come to mind right off the bat?
I think that one of my, because of like the things we've just talked about in a previous episode, we just talked about, I think maybe last episode, like those cognitive distortions or those like thinking errors that come up. And so like I could definitely see what I would say like felt like a loss at the time, was around like needing to be perfect. So like having just a lens of negativity on my parenting and feeling like, like it was very difficult for me to see wins for a long time. I basically only, like I filtered out all the positives and looked only at the places where I felt, matching up. I was just at a thing this morning that was talking about like one of our pastors at our church was talking about there's this idealized version of yourself. And he didn't say who said that. So if you're the person who said that, like, let us know. It was like kind of an anonymous kind of spiritual director person. But he was just talking about like we kind of have this sometimes this idealized version of ourselves, and then we get fixated on that. And when we get fixated on something, it sort of becomes like an idol, like where we feel like if we're not like we're always aspiring to that thing and we're always looking to that thing. And so I think that thing for me at times was like perfectly clean house, like everything in its place.
Yeah.
And it was tough, and like maybe me and Dad will talk about this someday, but like even like really struggling with him too, around like his caregiving of you guys, and especially you, I think, as a brand new dad, brand new parent, like my perfectionism and like my own anxiety would get in the way of like allowing him to be like just to be dad and to do things the way that he wanted to do them. Like
Yeah.
I had in my mind that there was like a right way to do it, and that and then whenever he did anything less than that, then it was just like kind of criticizing, you know.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that wasn't, you know, for me that was hard, and I like didn't like it about myself, but also felt really like
I can't get
I
this
can't
up.
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so just because I was so fixated on this like journey of perfectionism and parenting, and, you know, just very rigid. And so I think there are, I mean, I don't think that was all bad. Like at this point in my life, like I can see like the nuance of things, and like there may have been some good things that came out of my like perfectionistic parenting at first. But like it wasn't too long before I started realizing like this is like robbing me of any joy in the
Yeah.
season, because I'm just so fixated on actually me. I'm very fixated on myself and like my performance of being like
Being a mom.
parent. Yeah. So like that's what comes, I mean, that's like not it's not very uplifting.
No, I mean,
But
I think it's honest.
But it is real. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of parents,
And I would say like I remember that. Like not to
it's
like
okay.
make you
Yeah,
feel
no.
like you like this was like, but it like I feel like it can be a kind of a wake up call to some people to be like like kids do actually experience it. Like
Yeah.
they're not just kids and they're not just going to forget about it. Like
Yes.
I'm not saying my childhood was like I wouldn't describe my childhood as rigid.
Yeah.
But I definitely remember there were, you know, Sunday afternoons we'd come home from church. And that was our cleaning time, or that was our time to like leave you guys alone because you would be tired from church after singing and all that. And we just
after Daddy's solos.
Yeah.
Just
after
kidding.
No, he definitely
Daddy
didn't
doesn't
sing.
Anyway,
he was just
sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes. And like I remember like just not being able to, I feel like I could approach you guys at those times.
That's what I was about to say is
Yes.
like I would imagine that from your perspective that felt like there's no access to us.
There were definitely, yes,
Yeah.
I would agree with that. There was definitely times where me and Brayden knew like we can't go talk to mom and dad at this point. And even if we got in a fight or something,
Right.
if me and Brayden like hurt each other or something like that,
said,
we knew.
Figure it out.
Yes.
You guys
and we
figure it
knew
out.
that we could not go. Yeah. We just had to problem solve it. And so.
Which is not all bad.
No, it's
like,
not bad.
But yeah, but like I don't like the part where it's like it felt like you did not have access to us. And that's exactly what popped in my mind was like I imagined from your perspective it was like they are inaccessible.
Which it does make sense. Like it doesn't like it was good for you guys to have rest for sure. And I remember you guys would tell us like this is time where you guys can rest, and we usually just ended up we're all gonna rest. Yes.
Yeah.
But I also knew that we were not supposed to go and like bother
Seek
you
us
guys.
out.
Yeah. Go and bother you guys. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, I definitely remember you were always the disciplinary. Like, I don't remember Dad hardly ever disciplining us.
Dad.
I know. Like, well, and which I think in some ways made it like more of an emotional toll whenever he did discipline us, if that makes sense. Because it was like,
If
you
dad
did
came
it.
in, it was
If
like,
dad came in, it was
like, this is more serious.
Yes. And like, I don't know if I've told the story of like the basketball coach.
Oh, yeah.
About
I think
dad.
you have.
I have. Yes.
I think
so
it
like,
might be a little T trauma.
Yeah. A little T trauma. Like,
or daddy.
Yeah. Like
if you haven't traumatized your kids, like,
become their coach.
Yeah. Become their coach. That's a great line.
My dad was my basketball coach from kindergarten to 4th grade.
Probably.
And, he was really passionate about sports, and I liked basketball a lot.
And he had a backstory, like he had already been
coaching.
Yes. He had coached like at school and
in middle schools and high schools.
Yeah, he played basketball for a long time, and and so he got in trouble. He got fined. He got seat belted as a coach.
Yeah. He was very passionate coach.
Very passionate coach.
Which, when you're going to be your 5-year-old daughter's coach,
I know. You got to tone it down.
But he did not. But and so I remember
he's teaching her how to like do run screens and
like, and I think maybe that's like in the ways that like your vision of who your child will be can play out into how you raise them.
That's maybe like his idealized version of himself was like,
I'm
great
gonna
dad and coach,
yes.
know, and so
and like I'm gonna push my kid, and he did, and like, and it's like a mix. Like, some of my favorite memories with my dad are us playing basketball together. We always got root beer and a Hershey's bar after games, and I really loved it. But there were also times where I'm literally sobbing running down the court because Dad's like, Presley, get the ball. What are you doing? Like, just screaming at me from the sidelines. And it was, and I was just like,
poor little sis.
I know. So yeah, I just think it's like, it's always like, and I'm not even saying like I don't have any fun memories of you, but I definitely get what you're saying when you were like, I wasn't able to have, I could tell you weren't joyful.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like I remember a switch whenever it seemed like you let go of the perfectionism and actually were able to have joy.
Yeah. And that was a spiritual thing for me. Like, that was 100%. Like, how that came about was like really hitting a wall in my life, and like spiritually hitting a wall, and really having to like, have a little bit of, it wasn't a crisis of faith, but there is, maybe one day we'll talk about, but like there's kind of this progression in your faith walk, and eventually everyone hits this wall, and it's sometimes like this kind of wilderness season. It's like desert, like dry season, and where your best efforts like meet their end, like where you can't do what you've been doing. It's like whatever you've been doing isn't working, and you have to decide, like, am I going to double down and trying to keep figuring this out on my own, or am I going to surrender this to the Lord and like allow him to work in my life and change me, from the inside out. And so that I think that's what happened, is like kind of on the other side of that. Like, that's whenever that began to happen. I'm getting a little teary thinking about it. But because I'm grateful. I'm just really grateful for that. And even though that was a very difficult season, it was also like a transformative season, and like God knew that I was going to need to like change things, that you guys needed me to change things, that I need to change things for myself or for our family, and he needed to work in me. And so like I went through that phase of life, and kind of up to that point probably had relied heavily on that, and I needed to let that go. It's not like it's never a battle or never somewhat of a struggle, but for the most part, that is something that I really
Lord has
have
given
been
you
able
freedom
to,
from.
been able to get free from. It's why we can host people at our home, and why I don't have to be uptight and worried and
that's true. I don't remember us ever hardly hosting when we were.
Yeah, but I had a desire to,
kids.
But my perfectionism was
like taking over
in the way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. There's definitely been a shift, and I feel like there's just been a lot of shifts in throughout our lives, and like, I feel like most of them have been like good, like towards the good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do too.
And like, even if I think about like back to the like disciplinary like conversation, like Dad is definitely like more like in it with you now.
Yeah. in that
and
side of things.
yes,
Yeah.
and it's not just you're
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
mean one and he's the fun
And
one
part of
kind of
that,
thing.
well, part of that was probably because that started like early on in our parenting journey. Like I remember him, like me being very frustrated with him in like in the caregiving aspect of things, because it was like I felt like he just wasn't doing anything right. And so then but that's that perfectionism was coming in, like taking over, and then it like made it where he kind of only could be the fun person.
Yeah, it's like
because
you
I was
weren't
like
even allowed
controlling everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like worry that he was going to discipline wrong almost, and then like there was going to
like
be
I was gonna have to step in, or
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. So like I think that so much of that was just about like what was going on for me. It really wasn't about him or his capability. I mean, like he's extremely capable with children.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an
And he does
elementary
it for
school
does it for a
principal.
living.
He's very adept at
And so it
at
wasn't at
teaching
all about
and
his
supporting.
ability or capability.
No,
it was just about fear.
It was about fear, anxiety, perfectionism kind of playing a role. So, yeah. So I would say like, although there's like I would say like that feels like maybe in the category of loss on one hand, but I also can see like, I don't think it's that black and white. I think it's more like this is part of the journey. Yeah. And I think with just like, I think where we came to, or like where I've come to, not that I've arrived, I still have growth to do, but I'm running out of time in terms of parenting. In that way, my parenting role is going to change shift, to to having adults who I've once parented.
Exactly.
And now
that's what I mean with like all of our shifts too, is like there's been especially really with our relationship, we've probably had the most shifts. Braden's probably not like totally there, because he's still like being parented, and I still am too, but it's much more out of
but for the most part
it's much
like
more out of a friendship role and mentor role. Support. And like you're still one of my favorite people to hang out with and,
thanks, sis.
And
I love hanging out
be with, but it's not so much like, hey, I've been seeing this, or if it is, it's more out of like a mentorship role, not of like a go do your laundry or like things like that role.
I've been noticing that your laundry's piling up. No.
Yeah. Although you do say that, you're like, so I've been noticing.
I think I just said like, do you need to do your laundry?
Yes, something like that.
It's or free if you need to.
It's free. It's right there
downstairs.
If you need to,
but there's no like if you don't get your laundry done by then you're not gonna go hang out with your friends or whatever. Like I'm like, if you got dirty clothes, I don't know, you're not having to wear. Yes. But that's not for me to and I'm really not thinking that. I'm just like,
no, I know. I feel like it's like it's not even like you're like having to restrain yourself from not being a parent. Really, you're genuinely just like and I think that's like a part of like I think that's a testimony to like the relinquishing of control that you've like been working through.
Yeah. I mean, if I would have held on to that,
I feel like if you would have held on, I think you would 100% still be trying to be my parent.
I don't even know what that would have been like. I don't think
our relationship would have be what it is now.
I don't either. So it was very like,
and I think also necessary. That took me, I was like as a teenager and kid, just very, very unreceptive to any kind of like criticism. Like we talked about it. My response was always, I know. You tell me to go do something. I know. I've been seeing this in you. I know. Like I literally, that was my response to everything. And I could not handle someone. And I'm sure there's all sort of psychological stuff on why,
there's developmental things too going on there.
And also with your perfectionism, we already discussed that I totally picked up on it and was like, well, if mom doesn't want, like if mom can't, I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm seeing in you your need for perfection or need
and
for
like
things like that.
Like that's the way we be.
Yes.
You know, a lady.
Or if you were,
or whatever.
Or if
I know
you
that's
were
weird.
upset.
That was not grammatically correct, but
yes,
that's
like
how
I feel like
that's how we woman.
Yes, and I don't
so
even think I picked it up because you were like,
I expect you to be perfect.
No, you never told me that. It was out of you getting upset whenever something didn't happen or if something wasn't
the way
just
that
quite
I wanted it,
yes,
or was expecting.
Which but out of that, I think that's where the I don't want any correction came from.
Oh, for
and
sure.
I was very much like not willing to accept that I was wrong, like in almost any capacity. Like if I in school capacity, especially with Brayden, my brother, like if there was anything that he was right about, and like I've had to apologize to him about this, but I was so just degrading towards him. And like I remember like something I told him just probably at least a couple times a day was like, you're stupid, you're never gonna do anything. And like I was so horrible to him about like, and I constantly and it's because I prided myself on being smart, and I prided myself on that I could do more than him, and that I was better at school than him, or things like that.
Idealized version of yourself.
And I remember being like, yes, it was my idealized version. It was like, he's never gonna be and which is like
me,
and
I remember I do have a video of you saying that he was never going to be taller than you.
Like this is literally what it was like. And I'm like,
she was like,
and
13,
I was like, yes.
14.
And like,
I'm like, physiologically, I don't think that's true.
That's not going to work. And I was like, so much, I was double down. Like, I was so, but, and I knew what he was going to be taller than me, but I was just being a little, to admit that. Yes. I hated admitting that I was wrong, or that anything was ever going to change. And like, I always hated admitting that Brayden was better at sports than me, or that whenever he would do something like, and the honest truth is just his brain works different than mine. And I just was so blind to see that. He has like, he is so much smarter than me when it comes to, fashion and cars and like anything to do with like reptiles, like any
fashion, like, cars and reptiles,
other things too. But he just has a brain that like I will never have any interest in those things, and he could tell you any sort of detail about any of those. Right. And but I like to read, and he hates to read, and things like that. So I'm just like,
he's actually been reading a lot.
He has been reading a lot. I've seen that.
Yeah.
I have. So I mean, it's just like,
but
the point of all that was to say is that
Brayden's good at fashion.
Brayden's yes.
I'm sorry.
No, that's the name
of this episode.
I could not admit that I was wrong, and I still have a little bit of like a defense or like an offensive kind of thing come up in me every time that I am corrected, and I've just kind of had to be like, Lord, like, search me and know me, like, search me and know me, and you know my heart, and like refine anything in me that isn't for you.
Defenses.
Yes, you know my heart behind the offenses, and I want you to reveal the ways that I can surrender that kind of.
And I mean, we all have those things, because we have things that didn't work the way they were supposed to, right? We're like, we're flawed people. We are dysfunctional people. So anytime there's dysfunction in your life, and I would say that was a dysfunctional way of living, and it was a dysfunction that I brought into our family dynamic because of, if like I'm a bit dysfunctional and I'm the mom, then there's going to be dysfunction. Yeah. Right. And so anytime where there's dysfunction, you have to try to, all of us, we have to try to adapt to whatever that dysfunction is. And out of that adaptation, we start believing. What are you saying?
I'm thinking about how we adapt to everything.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second.
Another time. Anyway, out of that adaptation, we start having these beliefs about ourselves. And so if your belief about yourself was, I'm only worth something if I'm smart.
I'm this way, yeah. And that was 100%
so then whenever anything wasn't the way it didn't pan out, that you did know that, or you're wrong about that, or whatever it was, then it poked a hole in that belief of like, I am only,
which is going back to the idealized version is like, which this episode's becoming more and more about like how we perceive ourselves and how that plays into our relationships. Yeah. But because that has been a lot of the reasons for the like losses.
Yeah. And it's important to talk about like that we all have these, and it doesn't make us bad or wrong or any of those things. It's that we've had to adapt in ways that cause these things to my perfectionism was probably an adaptation to something. It was its own belief underneath the surface that I'm only worth something if I'm perfect, or I'm not enough, or I have to perform to be valuable, or whatever that is. And so I think and then performing out of that, and then not being able to handle it whenever it doesn't go that way because it's poking a hole in what is my, my way of doing things that works, like making things work.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
So yeah, I feel like the encouragement out of that will just be like, I feel like there's just things that only the Lord can reveal.
Yeah.
Or through like relationships, you just see a pattern. You know? And
for
like
sure.
just asking the Lord to reveal the pattern.
Yes, like whatever there is in me that is getting in the way of the way you want this to work, and for it to actually being functioning in the way that you are I was designed to function. Anything that's like getting in the way of that is something that's getting in the way of God using our lives and using us as parents and being who our kids actually need us to be.
I feel like it can be a block to obedience. Like
out
sure. Of like
because I prioritize
because you're prioritizing
upholding my
yourself.
belief, my idealized self over
obeying the Lord,
obedience,
and asking him to be the parent, basically.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the losses. Are there like any wins that you can think of?
Well, I was saying this a little bit earlier. I was gonna say this, and then we started talking about something else too, which was great. But I think what I was gonna say is that there, like the overcoming of these things is, I think, the win. Like being able to see that, like that it's never too late in relationships. Like that, I don't have to like. It doesn't erase everything. Like it doesn't make it go away. Like you might still struggle with this, what happened to you based on what dysfunction I was bringing into the family, but that doesn't mean that's forever. And like it gets to be something that like an area where we can depend on the Lord more, where we can grow, and then we can see like it is possible for things to change. It is totally possible. And it gives me faith. Like it gives me faith for whenever I'm struggling, or whenever my friends or family are struggling, or whatever you and B are struggling with something, or Daddy, like there's always room for the Lord to work if we allow him to. Like if we give him the space, he will work. He will do the work. He's working on our behalf. I love that song, by Abby Gamboa, There Goes That Man. He's always moving on our behalf. He's always moving on our behalf. And like
even when we don't see it.
Even when we don't see it. And it's bringing us into alignment with his will for our lives. And that has this ripple effect for other people. Like when you can do that, especially in your role as a parent, because God's given you your kids and put them in your life specifically so that you can, because there's something uniquely that you are meant to do in that relationship. And so it just puts you in a place where you can be used by God in big and small ways that are actually like bringing, God's kingdom here on earth, which is really cool.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I remember there was like a bit, like I feel like it was a win for you. Like, or maybe I could tell when there were wins for you and there was things that you were overcoming, because I just remember like just seeing the Bible out more.
Yeah.
Or like just little things like that. Like the Bible was in our house, like just laying out more. Mm-hmm. Or I remember there were those days where you would you got up every morning and you read and prayed, and just seeing like just all the I think just seeing the ways that the Lord has blessed you these past couple years has been really cool. And I just think that's out of your obedience and letting him work,
letting him move,
letting him move,
like okay,
and getting out of the way.
Yeah, that makes me think of like, I always think it's really funny because I feel like that God speaks to me like through his spirit, like in very short, small sentences. He just
because
tells
he
me
knows
like,
you're short and
go.
small.
He's like, go do this, and I'm like, okay. I will do that. It's always like, it always feels so simplistic.
I literally feel like, didn't this happen with the podcast? Go start a podcast.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I totally forget about that.
Yes, he's like, go start a
podcast.
And you were like, okay.
That's exactly what happened.
And you're like, all right, I
I
guess
was
we're
like,
gonna
I've
do this.
literally never thought of that. Like,
Ever.
not even for a second.
Not even for a second.
Not
yeah.
even for a second. And then it was like,
That's so
ask
funny.
Presley to be on the podcast. Okay, I'll do that too. Sounds good. Yeah. Yep.
So funny.
Yep. But again, it's like those, like seeing God work and seeing God move, it builds your faith.
Yeah.
Like it makes you know that you can ask for things of the Lord and that He is going to meet you there. Like He's going to answer you.
Yeah, the quote about like what the definition of a disciple being like a long obedience in the same direction.
Yeah.
Is coming to mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
it's a long obedience in the same direction.
Right. Are
like
you
towards
oriented toward him?
Yeah.
Then as long as you're oriented toward Him and you're walking in obedience, you're gonna walk in the right way. It's like how the crooked paths get made straight, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just really, really cool.
It's very cool.
So
Thank you, Lord.
yeah. Do you want to pray for us
Yeah.
before we end today and pray for the listeners?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would. Okay. Lord, thank you just for every person that's listening to this. We thank you for the purpose and the identity that you give us, Lord, and the things that are these just kind of tendencies and this vision that we have of ourselves, of this ideal person or this idol that we feel like we're constantly having to work towards, Lord. I pray that you would just free us from that, that you would give us a renewed vision of who you want us to be, that would be the identity that we put on, and that would be the purpose that we walk towards, to be a parent that glorifies you, that follows you. Lord, would you help us to have a long obedience in the same direction, that you would constantly refine us and just show us anything that is offensive to you in our hearts and our minds. Lord, that we just ask that you would continue to give us purpose and vision for what to do next, and the patience to wait through the seasons of wilderness, and faith to know that you are still moving even if we can't see it, and that you are a God that goes before us and prepares the way. So we thank you. We thank you for our family and just the ways that you have worked. And I thank you for just the stories that are going to come from the ways that you're moving in families, where there's stories where they were lost as a family and they didn't know where to go, but Lord, you showed up, and 10 years from now it's going to look like a completely different family. And so we just thank you for that you have a plan, even if it's a long way down the road.
Yes.
And that you are bringing people to your heart in families where the people are far gone from the Lord, and all these things. We just ask that you would be the author of our stories, and we thank you for all the stories that are listening, and we just bless them in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Press. You're welcome. All right. Well, we will be back in August for starting our new series on becoming a parent.
Yes.
So again, subscribe, listen, wherever
follow,
you get your podcasts, watch
all the things
on YouTube. All right. And we will see you guys next time.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.